Good morning, Monday morning. Start of a new week, I guess, So we had this debate yesterday. Is it a Sunday when the week starts, or is it a Monday? People have different opinions, don't they? Anyway, ramble. Do too much of it. This is your preamble. This is our little chinny waggy before we get ourselves going. So if you're on catch up, pop us a comment in. Let us know what's happening in your part of the world. Beautiful sunny day out there. There's a lovely blue sky today, so it's going to be nice. Last day of the wife's holiday. So Kate's off work till tomorrow. Back into work tomorrow, and then I'm off to work straight after this. So that's my day. But it's lovely to be able to see a bit of sunshine, isn't it? It makes us feel so much better. Right. Tell us what you're up to. Tell us what the weather's like where you are. Those are the sorts of things I need to know. Oh, and of course, any gossip if you've got at all. Any gossip. I like a bit of gossip. Don't get any these days. In need of gossip. Right, so pop us a comment in, as I say, and then I'm going to leave you and I'm going to start popping across and say hello to people who come on board live. Now I can see I've got 3 people, but I've got no icons at the top, so who is it? Who is it who's lurking in the background? There you are, George, it's you. You're one, sun back in Cruden Bay. No sea mist today then. I can't remember what the word was for it, but hey, I remember that it's sea mist. That's important, isn't it? Looks like we've got Maya Seth is there as well. Who else have we got joining us on this bright Monday morning? Start of the week for me. Start of a work week. So straight off to work after this. I'll be home about 8:39 tonight, I think. Something like that. Ha ha! There you go. George got it. Ha is a sea mist. Oh, learning something new every day. So I always like to learn something new every day. So there you go. I've added that to my my list of words, vocabulary. Never know, might come with a quiz one day, mightn't it? I'll be like, it's a sea mist. And then Cal go, how do you actually know that? Oh, well, no. Just know these things sometimes. Maya, how the devil are you? In from Llandilo in West Wales, where it's sunny. And it's Llandilo, isn't it? There's double L is a Llandilo. So good morning to you, Maya. Beautiful part of the world, Wales. Absolutely love Wales. Christine Perry, Mrs. P, you're in Port Talbot. Sunny morning. Good morning to Dawn up in Clearlarrick. What's it like up there, Dawn? Is it sunny today? George has got sunny weather in Cruden Bay. Margaret Wood is in from sunny at the moment. Rain a little bit later heading your way. Let's hope they've got that wrong. No rain. Bristol is overcast and windy for Francis McFarlane. Sorry to hear that. Little wave to Dawn. A bit dull this morning where you are, Dawn. George, blow some sunshine across. That way or that way, whichever. Or that way or that way, whichever. Like that, Just, if you could, George, that'd be great. Margaret Hamilton, good morning to you. Cloudy where you are. Sandra Hewitt. Sunny's out down in Waterlooville. Carol Elliott is in. Good morning. How the devil are you, Carol? And Gillian Matthews is in. Good morning to you, Gillian. Sunny where you are today. Super. This is your Monday morning, 8 a.m. movement snack. Now, I said to you yesterday, I had no idea when I'd be seeing you again, because I'm all over the place this week. Pussycat, she's gone to bed. Look, she was lying behind the chairs, but she's gone back to bed now, so I can readjust a little bit. There we go. A little bit more. Give myself a bit more room. Who else have we got? Sheila Day. Good morning. The collective have collected. Andy, Sheila and Carol, you're in the house. Good morning to you. Rosalie Hollis, good morning. How the devil are you? Good to have you with us on this bright Monday morning. Well, bright where I am in Coventry anyway. Whether it will stay that way is another thing. Am I going to get caught out? Am I going to go out this morning and just with t-shirt and my shorts? Come home time, it's going to be chucking it down with rain. It's happened before. I said, what the heck, hey? I don't care. Rain on me. Just don't get the hair wet. Kathy Speed, I'm joking. Kathy Speed, good morning to you. And Gillian Hillier, good morning to you. Sun is out, wash is out, ready to move. That should be our lotto. That should be our, not lotto, motto, shouldn't it? Sun is out, wash is out, I'm ready to move. Let's do this. Let's rock and roll. It is our Monday morning. We have gone past 8:01 by just a smidgen. It's 8:01, so if you want to lose the comments off the bottom of the screen, and they are gone. Should we have a 3, 2, 1? Yeah. Oh! Good morning, everybody. Welcome along. You're with Dave Montgomery from Layla Life Training. It says so on the t-shirt, look. Not the Dave Montgomery, just the later life training. This is your Monday morning 8 a.m. movement snack. It's a circulation boosting and mobility snack where we get everything moving. Yeah? Should we do it? Come on then. Let's get ourselves ready to go. Standing or seated, that is your first decision whether we're going to do it in standing or seated. Now, if we're doing it in standing, we want some fixed external support available to us. If we're doing it in seated, we want a good, strong, sturdy chair. And we don't want any beeps going off in the background, do we? So let me just take that off. I forgot to put on me do not disturb. The problem is then I forget to take it off later. And people say, I've been ringing you. Have you? If my phone hasn't gone off. Right, so I've got a strong external support fixed. I've got a sturdy chair for seated position. I've got a carpet underneath my feet. Well, it's a rug, but it's the same thing. So I've got my socks on. But if you're on a hard floor, remember, sensible, comfortable footwear is what you need. Nothing on the floor that can cause us any issues. That's the other thing. We've got a clear floor around us. Posture, standing, heels in line with knees, knees in line with hips. Lift and lengthen. Soften the knees, yeah? Don't bend them, but don't lock them. Soften them. Shoulders up, back and down to open this rib cage. Get everything moving up in the top. Seated, we do all of that. But first thing we need to do is bring our back off the chair. So bring ourselves away from the back of the chair. Oh, that feels nice. Bring ourselves away from there, lift and shift to bring ourselves into the front third. And then once we're sat in this front third of the chair, we can start to line everything up, yeah? Shoulders up, back and down, and we can go with our heel raises. Now here, our heel raises, it's all about getting some movement happening within the body. So, we start small, we make bigger. That's what we do. That's the way we rock and roll, all right? So, slow movements, not raced. It's not a sprint, this. You know, it's about just staying going all of the time. So it's slow and controlled. And it's small to start off with. And then we can make it a little bit bigger by actually bringing it into a march. Lifting those feet clear of the floor. Seated. A discomfort into your hip flexors. Bring it back into the heel raise. Now let's add an arm in as well. Driving the elbow backwards. So we've got that concentrated, focused, purposeful movement. We haven't just got a move where we've got the arm just swinging from the shoulders. Seated and standing, if we're not using support, change hand. If we are using support and standing, then we still change hand. We just need to make sure there's a hand on the support the whole time. So if it's in front, you just pop the other hand down. If it's to the side, you're possibly going to need to go a little bit longer on the one side. Lose the arm, make the march a little bit smaller, turn into your support so you've got both hands on. Once you've turned all the way around, you can bring the other hand off and away you go again on the other side. Driving that elbow backwards. Okay, finally in seated and standing if you feel steady and stable. Why not both arms, both legs? So we've got lots of movement happening. Now you notice that the speed hasn't increased whatsoever. It's just the range of motion that's increased. And that's important because we don't race this stuff. You know, it's not about going faster. It's about making things bigger. And that's what our movements, certainly in this first snack, are all about. Range of motion, trying to mobilise those joints to get the best range of motion we can. Now 2 minutes, 3 minutes max, start to lose your arms. Bring it down, make it a little bit smaller as far as this march is concerned, probably back into this heel raise, and then bring it to a pause, at which point, a couple of deep breaths, probably going to be the call of the day. They're ready to go. Right. Top trio to start off with is our head and our shoulders. So I'm going to come a little bit closer. We're just going to talk about basic support first. Let's make it a little bit wider, outside of our hips. Knees soft, lift and lengthen, yeah? It's exactly the same in seated as it is in standing. We lift the shoulders towards the ears and then we press them back down. So rather than just lower them to where they are, let's try and get them a little bit lower so we get that big range of motion. Now lengthen your neck and keep the neck lengthened. Don't let it come down. So ears don't come to shoulders, shoulders go to ears. Once you've done your 4 or 5 of those, we're going to take a pause and we're going to take it into this rotational movement. So forward, up towards our ears, back past those earlobes, shoulder blades together and press down. So we get this cyclical motion happening. Up, down and around. Yeah? And again, 4 or 5 of these. Now, slow and focused, so try and get the biggest range of motion that you can. And then take a pause there after your 4th or 5th. Let's move into our head turns. So support available if we want it, because turning our head can make us feel a little disorientated sometimes. Think about your softened knees, chin level, eyeline level, turn to the side, pause in the centre, turn the other way. We've got this pause in the centre all the time. So pause, and away we go. Now we're looking at 4 or 5 on each side. We shouldn't feel any pain in that neck, unless you've got pain already, in which case no more pain. But keep your eyeline level, so we're focusing on the turn, we're not tipping the head backwards. Once you've done your 4 or 5 in each way, thinking about things like crossing the roads, but even just talking to people, looking at something that's by the side of you, we don't turn the whole body, we turn the head. Once you've done those 4 or 5, take a pause and let's head into this back of the neck. So coming in for a kneeling position here. Fingers on chin, eyeline level, we're going to give ourselves another chin. That's fine. Okay, here we go. So we draw back and we come forward. Do you see how the chin stays level? Well, the chin doesn't stay level, the eyeline stays level, the chin dips in a little bit and we give ourselves this extra chin. But we lengthen down through the back here. Now we can either keep the fingers on the chin or we can leave the fingers where they are and bring them back. So you get this motion where we're stacking everything back up to where it should be. So we've got this here and back. Again, controlled, it's not a race. Smooth movement. Lengthen through the back of the neck and feel that lengthening through there as well. Once you've done your 4 or 5 of those, take a pause and let's head into a reboost of our circulation. We're doing our legs on their own. So, march, or if you're in seated, you've got that heel raise. However, we're doing just 30 seconds. We're not doing the whole thing again. So if you feel comfortable in seated, go for that march, make it a bit bigger. We're just giving the circulation a little reboost because of the lowering down that's gone on while we were actually doing those movements. We're moving from our top trio into our trunk trio. So, bring it to a pause and let's get this good base of support sorted. Now, taking the feet a little bit wider this time so they're right in line with my shoulders. If you're seated, if standing's on your radar, do the same, yeah? But in seated, you're going to keep your bum firmly on the chair as well. Movement number 1 is down to the side, up to the centre and pause, and then down the other way. And it's straight down, straight up. Don't come forward or backwards, just straight down, straight up. Now, support in front, you change hand. If it's to the side, however, there's a little difference. We come into the support, back to the centre. We then take it back to that support. You do your 4 or 5 on that side, then as many steps as you need to turn. Now, I said in seated, your bum stays firmly on that chair. So the reach down is exactly the same. We might be able to use the leg of the chair if it's straight as a guide, but my bottom doesn't lift. So we're lengthening down through the side of this body. We're not lifting and leaning. Once you've done 4 or 5 on each side, thinking about reaching down into a cupboard, getting something that might be a little bit lower down than you are, those sorts of movements. Take a pause and let's head into our trunk twist. Now here, let's just make sure we're sat tall. Seated wise, bottom is going to stay firmly on that chair and the movement is here. So if I've got movement in my hips, I'm going to feel it from the way that the bottom is touching that chair. I feel the weight distribution changing. So in standing, you might want to use your support as a reference point, leaning yourself against it at the back or your hips against it at the front, because the hips want to stay still. So in standing, what we're doing is we're turning the upper body and we're keeping the hips where they are with that rotation around. Trying to get the best range of motion you can again. Elbows are staying in line with shoulders, so it's not a turn of the shoulder. It's not this movement here. It's this movement here, trying to get right into this mid region. Rolling over in bed. Seat belts. Looking to face to the side to check the road, whether it be walking or in a car when you come to a T-junction. Those are the sorts of movements. But the trunk is playing a huge part in just supporting us all day long anyway. So let's keep it mobile. Let's keep it working for us. Once you're 4 or 5 on each side, remembering that that central bit is a pause. Yeah, we're not turning from side to side. Little pause. If you need to go, oh, do you know what? Reset, and away you go. That's what you use it for. Now, into our lower back, so our big back extenders here. Eyeline stays level again, so once more we're going to give ourselves that bigger chin. But we're not going to tip the pelvis forward or backwards. It all happens with a lift of the chest and an extension. So the pelvis stays still, we're not tipping, all right? Soften your knees, that's going to help, so you sit nice and comfortably. Lift the chest and extend the shoulders back. Yeah, in and release. So it's this chest lift firstly, and then the extension. Now, again, you might want to use your support as a reference point, because in seated, where I've got it, I can feel it through my the way that my legs are touching that chair. So I can feel if I've got the weight moving from my bottom into the top of my thighs. Yeah, that's going to tell me whether I've got movement within the hips within the pelvis. And as I said to you a couple of days ago, remember, Elvis has left the building. There is no pelvis movement here. There's no Tom Jones around at all. The pelvis stays perfectly still. Yeah, save it for later, for the disco. When you're in the nightclub later, we can pelvis all we want. Right, 4 or 5 on each side. Once you've done those 4 or 5, take a pause and let's head into another circulation booster. 30 seconds once more, upper body only this time. So drive those elbows backwards and we can start to make this bigger movement, reaching forward and driving back. We've got that bigger movement happening. Now, once more, just 30 seconds, just to give us a little reboost before we head to our final trio. If standing is not on your radar, you might want to go over one of those other mobility movements we've just done. So whether it's your trunk you go back to, or perhaps your shoulders and head. Choice is yours. But if standing is on your radar, come with me. We're going down to our ankle, feet and toes. So let's bring this down, bring it to a pause, and we're ready to go into our ankle, feet and toes. Now, standing firstly, use your support. Get the best range of motion. Don't worry about balancing. Well, worry about balancing, but don't focus on the balance, yeah? If we do it without, we're tempted to focus really on this, and we might not get the best range of motion. So use your support. It's there, yeah? Eye line level, you might want to look the first time as the toe goes down onto the floor, and then we lift and place the heel in exactly the same place. Now, supporting leg and knee soft, that's really important, because that's going to help as far as the balance and stability is concerned. Heel on the floor, splay your toes, scrunch them as you come over, and then point them down at the floor. You do 4 or 5 on one side, and then as many steps as you need to turn to change to the other side. Do exactly the same movement in seated. We just need to adjust the legs. So there's our toe, there's our heel. Give ourselves room to do this within. Or take a little scooch on back in that chair. Extend the foot away so it's just off the floor about 1 inch. Point the toes away. Bring them into the heel. It's down towards the floor, the toes are in towards the shin. Now scrunch your toes as you point away. Splay your toes as you bring it back in. There's our movement. Now, if you need to take a rest between every one or every couple, do. It's not about strength. And likewise, don't allow that leg to drift up. Keep it down low, yeah? Once you do 4 or 5 on one side, foot comes down, you change to the other side, and away you go. Remember you point and you flex, and you scrunch and you flex, because the toes play a big part in our walking and our balance as well. In standing, we can take it to the natural progression here, which is to have this little step through. Can you see how the heel comes down and then the back foot rolls up onto the ball of the foot and the toes? And certainly if you're in your socks on a carpeted floor, feel how those toes sort of spread out and start to grip that floor for you. You'll feel it into your feet as well in shoes, but not as much because there's the containment of the shoes. But you'll feel how those toes start to actually grip a little bit more, if you're aware of it. There you go, that is your 8am movement snack for this Monday, the 25th of April 2022. Go forth, stay active, stay mobile, stay cobraing. More importantly, stay smiling, yeah? Have a great day. I'll see you later in the week. I know I'm back with you later in the week. I just can't remember when. So I'll see you later in the week. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Toodles.